Hi everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have your union read for you, and it's a big one. There's a lot of good messages coming out of this, and I'll do oracle cards at the end. It is February 11th, 2019. The 11 is all about justice, and the day adds up to 25. 7, which is the Knight of Wands. So the Justice and the Knight of Wands, so there's some definite passionate movement here around justice. The energy this morning has been actually really good and calm. It snowed last night. Before I went to bed, I hadn't even realized it snowed, but by the time I went to bed last night, which was late, there was already snow covering everywhere. It was still snowing a little bit this morning, but it's not anymore. Actually, everything's all clear, but the energy itself feels calm. I wasn't getting a lot of nervousness through the read or any chest pain, nothing like that. I'm going to get right into the read. So we have the 11 is a 2 and the 25 is a 7, which are both very soft energies today. So it's very feminine today. The read was done at 9:32 this morning. 32 is the 6 of Wands. So it is a 5, but it's also the 6 of Wands in the Tarot, which is all about getting attention, success. I don't know if my glasses are a little bit crooked here. Sorry about that. They're old glasses, so. The 32 is it's traditionally of good news, but success, attention, the journey, being a leader. And the major arcana were, and this is the Sirian Starseed deck as the main deck. I also use the Universal Tarot, the Gilded, and the Mini Rider-Waite, and Romance Angels, as well as the Numerology deck, okay, within the read. So there's a lot of information here, a lot of cards. The Sirian Starseed major arcana were Indigo, Reason, Lovers, and Strength. Indigo is traditionally the Magician, and Reason is traditionally the Emperor. There are 2 pentacles, 2 swords, 1 cup, and 1 wand. And the only court card was the Queen of Swords. And that was in the recent past position. The coding was all about communication and patience for the union. And the numbers that came up were, and my voice started to crack as soon as I said communication, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That sequence came up, as well as 10, 4, and 5. It was yesterday, the day before, 3 and 4 were coming up multiple times, and now 4 and 5 are coming up multiple times. So the numbers within the codes were 4 and 5, which is 9, and 10, and then we had also 22, 12 came up. So about communications and patience, it was really for constant, I don't want to say safety as the word, but for that peace and balance within the divine feminine in their heart, so which is also the feminine side of the masculine. I was getting there may be insufficient feminine support revolving around communication. Okay, so the feminine's ability to communicate is insufficient right now. So being called to maybe reach out more in your telepathic communication or in your 5D communication. But just there should be constant love anyway, between you, okay? 4 essays also came up, so I don't know if someone has to write 4 essays for school, or someone might have essay panels, like blood work, that kind of thing. Grieving, insufficient support for the feminine. Communication and patience is what's needed here. There really wasn't much in the online coding that came up. The 5 P's of success, proper planning. Okay, so that prevents unforeseen things. That was from Jennifer browerdesign.com. But just some definitions of different cards were coming up again in the coding. 4 of Cups and 5 of Cups came up. So again, the 4 and 5 combination. And then also Rihanna's 4, 5 seconds came up. And also the acronym SA was coming up. It came up as South Africa as well as San Antonio, but when I looked it up, the top heading was, of course, sexaholics.com, or Sexaholics Anonymous, and then also in German, Assault Division, and also a company called Seabridge Gold, Inc., and also another company called SA Co., with face masks, okay, the masks coming off. Oh, also another heading from Sports Day, DallasNews.com. 5 former Dallas Cowboys fans might recognize and then the comment within was, Escobar spent 4 seasons in Dallas from 2013 to 16 after being selected in the 2nd round of the NFL draft. So number 1, persevere, don't give up. And then another heading was from The Guardian, where Mauricio Pochettino was talking about trophies and being called silverware, right? Trophies only build egos, like they don't help the game. So that was interesting coming up. Also formed from expressnews.com was former San Antonio Councilman Ray Lopez has raised more money in his bid for state representative. So talking about, paying for votes to be, if you have money, you get to be in charge. So anyway, getting into the read. Something I noted as I was putting out the cards was the Emperor's false hand being released. So any part of him that wasn't really him, like he was living a lie, that part of him, it's like he's letting that go, he's throwing it in the fire. Also, that the Lovers was coming up in the near future position, which it never comes up there. It's been coming up a lot lately in the center of the read, but it's coming up in the near future position, and it was just above the 2 of Wands, which is literally 2 flames, the twin flames in this deck. Okay, so you have the Lovers and the twins next to each other. Okay, so there is affection here, physical affection coming into play. So starting out with the read was the 6 of Pentacles. So there's balance of the Queen of Cups, her focus on one option, which is love, spiritual love, loving oneself, and also new love. It was all very positive on this card. Okay, half rest, half meditation, half rest and meditation, half work and play. But your work is play, so it's really about one thing. Quiet reflections exposed to balance self and co-creation, also exposed at work to inspire balanced give and take, teaching and learning, grounding and integrating, and downtime. And speaking your truth. Inspired by castle boots. So I don't know what that means. It might mean something to someone. Castle boots of 2 towers, or 2 towers that have weak foundations. Mustard gold, so that, notice the foods that came up here in these colors, because they all came up as foods, so they're coming up for a reason. Mustard gold, peach, soft wine, and milk chocolate. So there might be something about this combination. Mustard, peach, wine, soft wine, and milk chocolate. Making sure to have a bowel movement every day. Up and down, not sitting too much. Change positions a lot. Not just sitting on your butt, but on knees and feet, up and down. Change a routine of 3 to 4 now. Hug a tree, be green, and use mint. And herbs. plant more grass in the earth. Okay, it's springtime. Maybe you don't always put grass down. It's calling you to put more grass down. Okay, more nature. Cement is not good for your knees. So some of you are working on cement on your knees. Make sure you take padding with you. Cushion everything, including your bank account. Yellow warrior boots or rain boots when hiking. Red cape is just a fringe benefit, okay, your superpowers. Take walking stick in case you need it, in case of inclement weather. So also like a cape, you know, like a raincoat, something like that. You know, a hooded, whatchamacallit. Inspired to give, but not to receive. And what's with that? So notice that about yourself. What are you inspired to not receive in? Or not given? Being one with love. So this is for the masculine and feminine, since we're talking the union here. Alright, so being inspired to give, but not to receive. One, it affects them with love, and the other with money. Okay? Each good at one, but not the other. The Hierophant is out, watching, putting money aside into repairs. So this could be a Taurus, it could be establishment, it could be a religious leader, it could just be your boss, it could be your marriage. But this Hierophant is the establishment. It's also commitment. There's somebody watching here. Putting money into repairs, right? The traditional thing to do. When your home needs work, to make sure to put money into it so it doesn't fall apart. But the King of Swords reversed is not in his truth about a new passion and growth of his soul. The almighty coin and building castles in the air, not following through. One with love, one with money. Again here is saying the same thing. One is building castles in the air regarding money, and the other building castles in the air regarding love. And one is good and the other is not. So this is why you complement each other so well. Release your ex comes up here as the underlying energy. To love yourself first was beneath. And third party watching the strings that you pull. The people you play with. More leg than arm width. Okay, and that's something I was just getting a different twist to that. But keeping a distance. Open door policy as to nothing hidden while playing on heart or harp strings. Manipulations unforgiven. Someone being told outside at the gate about accusations made. 6 candles, gifts received, and sweet tweets and treats. Paper clips pulled open, and pocket knives, or leaving scissors open and out on the counter. Someone is being told on, or gossip around them, stirring the pot, witnesses to what was actually going on, or what actually went on, but no one can see the 5D except the twins in sleep and meditation. Their cord connection, telepathy, and remote viewing, remote deception. Position of legs when sleeping, bent up knees, sleeping to the left, and then right shoulder pulled back to open up the chakras and wings. So I was getting that someone's remote viewing each other, okay, which some of us can do, but I was getting like specifically the masculine remote viewing the woman the feminine while she's sleeping. So like he's identifying how she sleeps. Coming together is finally talking about things, burning the past and the dark goats that are around him. Billy goats I was getting. One with a little shadow, another who's really bad. Okay, so they're coming up as, wasn't coming up as the angel and the devil, it was coming up as 2 bad goats, but one's not bad, they're just, you know, a little mischievous, the other one's bad. Always attached to him, the masculine. Dark energies guarding his every move, when all he has to do is clear and have no fear. He is so much more powerful than them. He touches right heel and right knee, tender points to release, so they can be free and feel free to talk, arm wrestle, and play footsie. It's time for growth past the 5D. Adventure came up here, as well as creativity beneath as the underlying energy. So you use your creativity to begin your adventure. 24-karat gold coins were coming up, as well as 22-karat pendants, sneaky behavior and half-truths, admitting to cowardice and running away from self, which is your twin or self. You're running away from one, you're running away from the other. Mesh metal gates and doors to furnace are easy to break his heart. Looking back, and ships that have sailed in the night, and going back to a prison, real or mental, blue eyes, but each different. Astrological signs forbidden. Poor Jupiter placement for Libra, Capricorn, and Virgo. Prisoners of love with eye on the Holy Grail, 3 rays. Laser vision in following the moon cycles. Bird behaviors, tides, and calm emotions. Chopsticks and seaweed. Japanese cuisine and kimonos were coming up here as well. There's some lineage stuff to clear here with the Orient. Dark ceremonies, or imprisoned by church, your own belief system. What is love, and what do emotions have to do with it, right? What's love got to do with it? Ancient Orient traditions of prayer prisons, or imprisoned for prayer, comes up with seaweed, or grass, or glass in the ceiling. Feng Shui revealing ancient taboos, releasing you to be you, not them. All right, because with the Oriental systems, they're very strict. It's always about doing what society tells you is right. So they're probably the worst of it. So there's probably a lot to clear from those lifetimes. Okay, so revealing ancient taboos, releasing you to be you, not them. Laser focus on emotions and the heart that holds them. Also using your eyes to heal with. Like I've said before, all right, you have your pupils emit direct light, and your irises actually have codes in them, okay? So use your eyes when you heal. A history of running from true love due to fear of persecution, imprisonment, wrong person, wrong family, religion, culture, school, status, hair, nose, or body type, according to someone else's standards, the society as a whole, controlled by the Dark Master manifestors, when each person has the ability to master their own light body. So there's new love, new passion. It comes with balance, grounding, and integration, choosing the path of reflecting self in co-creation, an adventure after clearing X negative energies and loving self first. And it was 11:11 right that moment. The end times are coming up as significant, because that was 11:11, and the actual end of the read today, when just as I finished doing the assessment, was 12:21. Like as soon as I let go of my pen and I looked over at the clock, it was 12:21. Recently, the Queen of Orbs, or Queen of Swords, okay, Queen of Orbs in this deck is actually Sage of Orbs. So the Sirian Starseed deck, just so you know, because I don't usually say them, because I usually use the traditional wands, swords, cups, and pentacles, but the Sirian Starseed uses orbs for swords, flames, chalices for cups, and then pentacles are crystals, okay? But recently the Queen of Orbs comes up here, the Sage of Orbs, or the Queen of Swords, as overworking, causing chaos, or just being stuck with messages, news, small communications from children who are all speaking their truths, exposing shadows, and breaking through the crown, crowning achievements, and the parents noticing that that is their children, their crowning achievements. So really finding that gratitude. And for the Queen of Swords, for the Divine Feminines especially, to not overwork, okay? That's not the point of this. It's to do what you love, to do what you're guided to, and of course whatever keeps you in a high vibration, but not to overdo it, okay? Because that's just as bad as not doing it, okay? It's about being good to yourself. Loving yourself first means make sure you have balanced time to do what you love for work, but then you must stop yourself to eat, you must stop yourself to drink, you must stop yourself to rest and to meditate, and time to love, you know? Not just people who are detached from you, but people who are in your immediate environment, okay? So just like life and the body, your blood and children must go out to explore. The farther they go, the more they'll always want to come back to the heart, to real love. The dark is just an obstacle between the truth and exposure of light. The foundation is reason for the union, okay? The logical emperor with justice, but without opportunity. But now with information to make a clear decision at work or within their finances in order to release the masculine's X and love themselves first, okay? The emperor is burning his false hand, or that she was that extension of him, and he's now letting go. You are seen as those you hang out with. While spending time with those you don't resonate with, you dim your own light. The signs that came up for the underlying energy, and this is just the underlying part, Libra came up both up and down. Taurus was upright, Cancer was reversed, Leo was up and down, Capricorn was reversed, Pisces was upright, and Aries was also up and down. So the fire energies were up and down here, and Libra. Yeah. So centrally, as we get into the read, the bulk of it, Indigo can now see through the portal, awakened to journey, deception, and prisoner he avoided, himself, thus his twin. The truth of knowing his twin and that he is one. The devil incarnate because of his magical abilities. The challenge being grief of being present to nothing while the Queen of Swords talks about it. Feeling like dying, a prisoner of his own devices, pretending twin doesn't exist, and now children are watching it. So the children may be actually watching stuff about twin flames, and has brought more affection to his relationship with his children, and wanting to extend an olive branch out on a limb, but have things died between them, and are they with someone else? So the masculine not knowing whether the feminine is with someone else really or not, but you know, having ignored them and let go because of his own insecurities about people judging him for his own abilities, pretending like his twin doesn't exist, and now realizing how accepting people are of his twin, including his own children, and that actually brought more affection of them, between them, and now realizing it's okay to love himself first, and seeing the reality of it, okay? So the olive branch comes out on a limb, but he's still not sure what your situation is for the feminine. So if you want your destiny to be known, so if you're not sure, all you have to do is look in the mirror at yourself. They reflect when you feel good about yourself. When you're balanced, your twin reflects what you're doing. But the more off you are, the more they're off in the opposite direction. So if you're really extreme sad, the other one's going to be extremely happy. That's why you stay balanced to bring the other one back to 0 point, okay? That's why it's going to be confusing for you. Why is it opposite or is it the same? Well, when you're balanced and you're at 0 point, you're the same. But when you go to one extreme, then they polarize from you, okay? So meeting in the middle, the vortex, the 0 point, the vacuum, where you're sealed off in the love bubble, dancing in and out, back and forth, always returning home, just like your kids, okay? Indigo's dark side is showing off, jealousy, and cracking the whip. Being too harsh with words, possibly. Condescending, logical arrogance for the masculine. When your ignorance is that your ignorance there is that the heart is always smarter than your logic, no matter how smart you are. If you want your dreams in separation, hung up on keeping quiet about it in grief, the more the Leo or ego will abuse you, strong arm and tackle you and muzzle you. This is your own choice. The darker the light, the lies or the truth, the fear or the love, it's all the same. Now, excited about abilities, rising above and not sleeping well, over-isolating and holding energy, time, and money back, while the hermit sheds light on all of it as the feminine, standing in the harsh truth until you get it, that lack of affection, avoiding, and vacillating is not love, because the heart always knows the truth of it. And it was coming up here that the King of Cups equals the Five of Swords, equals the Hermit. So the King of Cups being unconditional love, the Five of Swords, you know, who's traditionally seen as the bad guy, is just the guy standing in his truth no matter what. It's the Trump thing, okay? And why you don't understand why some people that you deem as negative people or bad people, why do they succeed in life? Well, it's because even if they're negative to you, if they're authentic to who they are, to their true energy, they are going to manifest, because they're going with the flow of the universe and what the universe had planned for them. If you resist that, that's when you block yourself. So if you resist your own nature, your own natural tendencies, even if they're defined as bad according to someone else, so you're not authentic to yourself, then you block your abundance. It's when you're authentic to yourself, standing in your Five of Swords truth, and it's not about being aggressive and cutting other people down. In this picture, he's standing there with his swords. He's not doing a thing, but he has his truth. And if you don't like it, you can go away. And if it hurts your feelings, then you can work on your wounds. But I'm working on mine. Okay, so that's him. It's being harsh about your truth when you're being attacked. And not feeding into it. Saying, I'm standing up for myself, but all I have to do is show my swords. I don't have to use them. I have the truth on my side, because I'm authentic. So this is why the King of Cups equals the Five of Swords, which equals the Hermit, who's the wise one, the collective consciousness, because you're always connecting with yourself and your higher self first. So that's not being selfish, it's being selfish to the collective consciousness, which is the whole. Okay, so do you understand that? So that was a great tying together of the cards. So unconditional love equals being authentic, not bending to others' will, that if they get their feelings hurt, that is their hurt to cure, their hole to fill. This equals the wise one, the collective consciousness of higher self. The wounded warrior keeps fighting for clarity. He will continue to hurt in a loveless partnership. The way out is to focus on what you love, your abilities and perspectives manifested, and putting it all out there. No fear of who you are. Fantasy mirror, jealousies, it all. Love it all. The King of Swords fantasizing just causes jealousy. Your energy is there whether you reveal it or not. So saying to the masculine, your karmic's jealous because you're lying. Well, number one, you are lying. But even if you weren't lying, if you think you're not lying or cheating, which you are, because energetically you are, any subconscious or hidden energies are felt by the people around you, whether you state it or not. So if they don't know it intellectually, they still feel it. So you're hurting everyone around you by lying. And if you're saying you're not cheating, then you're lying to yourself. Because even if you're fantasizing, you think that's okay, it's not, because you're not being authentic to yourself. So vacillating, split, or division of property just breeds obsession, a need to cut cords and end battles and separations. Detach from those who are no longer for your highest good in order to get your wish, and stop putting a muzzle on it. Stop being afraid of the truth. It may hurt somebody, but do they care when they hurt you? I don't think so. Soon the lovers, destiny inspired, let the Leo or ego have all that false light, that fantasy false light. The Emperor's only face now is abundance and detox with the Empress, and possibly some new clothes and affection that is destined. So the union is being seen by both the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine again as the two flames. They're in the position of the union. Okay, so both see themselves as twin flames. Impatient angels only fall on their face when they lack faith in self and each other. Then time for twins to purge it out and come back together. These signs that came up, all 12 signs were represented here in the body of the read, where Aries was both directions, Pisces was upright, Capricorn reversed, Cancer reversed, Virgo was up and down, Gemini was reversed, Scorpio reversed, Libra upright, Aquarius up and down, Leo up and down, Taurus upright, and Sagittarius up and down. So all the fire signs were up and down. Okay. So when I say up and down, they can be expressing both their positive and negative attributes, but it also could be two separate people. So it could be an up Sag and a down Sag. Okay. So you'll know based on your situation. Passion and wedding are the cards that came up for the union. Okay. That there's a great passion here, and that this situation involves marriage. Let people talk if they want to. Let them see how happy you are together, what real love is. Around the union, or how it is seen, lightning strikes, water, and you know what that means. Coming together to cause separation and a move of a home or business, or a canceled party or wedding. There are major epiphanies here between twins, and only false light between you, possibly a karmic pretending to be your twin, using artificial means and superficial intent. Clear blocks of strength, courage, focus, and ego. The tiger's eye, Sagittarius Jupiter. Clear arrogance, unhappiness, lack of satisfaction, defenselessness, allowing others to get to you. Victim mentality. Just be innocent love. That's all that it takes. Be your inner child with your heart open wide. The cards that came up for the union were patience and communications, but also I just wanted to point out here that the Page of Wands and Page of Cups are here again, reiterating that yes, this is the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. Divine Masculine is the Page of Wands, the Divine Feminine is the Page of Cups. Man of passion, the boy of passion, and the woman of love. Here we are again. Two kids in the garden and the playground again. Ending pain, sorrow, and feeling controlled by opening up and being patient with each other. And this is the masculine saying, so in the union, you're rising to the occasion to get your wish, to tango. And then the masculine says, don't tell anyone I was dancing, or I'll have to take you down again. No, just kidding. He says, just really, I'm slow as a turtle to get it. He has natural blinders on and can't see very far ahead. He must take one step at a time. If you want to be my hare, right, the tortoise and the hare, I'll speed up a bit, but you must slow down for me. Okay, so this was explaining why the the masculine natural energy is very focused with blinders on, and that allows them to be good at what they're good at. The feminine's not like that. She has more periphery open, right, so that she can see with her third eye. But their talents in the 3D world and manifestation are because they have those blinders on, and they're able to be very focused, not be distracted easily. Okay. But this also makes them slow because they're not distracted. They're just focused on what they're doing. You know, that feeling when you're really into something and you can do it for hours on end because, you know, you're just into it. So this is kind of an explanation of why the masculine is why they are. Why they are who they are, or how they are. So be patient with each other. Because in the things that you're alike, that's where you bond, but the things that you're opposite in, because whatever you're really good at, they're probably going to be really bad at, you need to be patient with them on, and know that as the complement to you, right? That's where they complete you. The cream always rises to the top naturally. As the Empress allows her dark to fall away, her Knight of Wands comes riding in. In order to get your wish, you must believe in dreams and your own ability to manifest. Trinity, perpetual co-creation, time to work, time to play, time to sleep, and time to pray. Except work and play are one and the same for us. There's only three. The Magician manifests happiness for all. He's done integrating and hearing the call. with kids or his own inner child, breaking patterns, removing the mask. When tripping up, he's now admitting it. Depression, forgiving too much. Not forgiving, but forgiving too much. Walking away from 4.5 cups. So here again, 4 and 5 were coming up. So it's like he's walking away from 4.5 cups, so maybe he got a little less than half, or a little more than half, whatever the situation. The Emperor's in control. The Queen of Wands reversed, so obviously she's pissed, has to pay up, possibly for a business end of the relationship, or their finances, or losing money in a transaction, or split from work and or their partner. He's now co-creating with someone else. So there's balance in love and quiet time. The Emperor Twin Flame has an epiphany about separating the Queen of Swords and Indigo Child and or Magician who's grieving, as lovers find strength and courage to learn their abilities and rise into family happiness and passionately move, which is now made manifest. And then after the read, and I was just going about doing my thing, all of a sudden I start singing, let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in. Okay, so the sun is coming in. I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you. That was a good one. All right, clear and align. Take a deep breath, guys. I'm remembering why I don't use these glasses anymore, because they're not as strong as my other glasses. Can't see very good. Okay, so clear and align. Clear and align. Okay. So for this February 11, 2019, February 11, 2019, for everyone watching in the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Mother Mary, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Okay, the bottom of the deck is Pallas Athena, which is number 48. Okay. The affirmation for Pallas Athena is, I use the sword of truth to lead the way. It was very much about the truth. It's all about the truth. Because the truth is love. And 48 is the 8 of Cups. It's that where it said walking away from 4.5. It's that energy of walking away from the situation. So it's walking away or going within. But either way, it's that quiet time to yourself. Could be hiking in the mountains for the masculine as well, or the woods, wherever you go. And then the Pleiades, which came up yesterday, comes up again today, which is 16, which is the Tower. So you have some Tower energies coming in here, for sure. That was the lightning. It wasn't the Tower card, but the lightning strikes in the Sirian Starseed deck in the 3 of Swords. It's interesting, because I don't even think the Tower came up at all. I don't think it did come up, the Tower. But it's coming up here for the Pleiades. Also, Thoth and Fire came up, and they're opposite numbers, or they're reflected numbers, right? Thoth is 31, and Fire is 13. Okay, so they're reflecting. It's the transformation, rebirth. So very good. We have the Tower and rebirth, which is basically the same thing. Okay? You have to break everything down, sometimes to a dark night of the soul, in order to come out and see the light in the proper way. So the Pleiades says that they are great healers. They love Earth and all who live on her. By drawing this card, you're being invited to open your heart to Pleiadian healing. Let them enfold you in their loving, healing blue light, so that their wisdom and gifts flow into you now. When you've absorbed these qualities into your energy fields, pass them on to others. Remember that the animals who come from the Pleiades, the sheep, pandas, and pigs, heal people and the land. Bless them and honor their work on our planet. And the affirmation is, I open my heart to love and healing from the Pleiades. Okay, so the sheep, pandas, and pigs. Thoth says, and again he's 31, 16 is a 7, 31 and 13 are both 4s, and 4 is coming up big time today, and that's the Emperor. Okay, So yesterday being 3 and 4, that would have been the Emperor and the Empress. Today is more about the Emperor and the Hierophant. So establishment, you know, the masculine working out his perspective with establishment. Okay, so Thoth, a high priest in the golden era of Atlantis, led his tribe to South America to become the Inca civilization. He taught that when every single aspect is in tune, the whole is automatically in harmony. Their guidance is to bring all parts of your life and your body into alignment so that you enjoy perfect health and happiness. Imagine every cell of your body is part of an orchestra. Let your thoughts conduct a magnificent concert for radiant well-being, attuned to each area of your life to higher purpose so that your life is a celebration. And the affirmation is, my life and my health are in perfect harmony. And this card, every time I read it, it makes me think of my dad, because he was a physician and he wasn't religious or spiritual, but he totally believed in the same thing, that the body, you know, works as harmony and motion. You know, that's a healthy body. But he also played the violin in an orchestra. So there's two references in here. And Thoth is very much about math and sciences, which relates to my father. And many of the doctors I worked with remind me of that Thoth energy, especially Aquarian doctors. But Thoth is the bird head. All right, so that was a 4. 31 is also the 5 of Wands, so it's that expansion energy, and then the 13, of course, is the transformation of the Death card, and fire, transmutation. Fire transmutes the old and takes the new to a higher frequency. Archangel Gabriel supervises Thor, and Gabriel came up in the read yesterday. Gabriel and Mother Mary, I think it was. And I asked Mother Mary today for this information. So Archangel Gabriel supervises Thor, the elemental master of fire, and his salamanders. Your guidance is to ask them to transform the energy of conflict, then spread peace, warmth, and nourishment to people everywhere. You can ask fire to help you eat the right food so that you have the perfect fuel for your ascension journey. It will also ignite your aura and keep your chakras fifth dimensional and glowing, so that you attract many others to you and leave with inspiration. The affirmations: I invoke fire to light my way to the new golden age. Okay, so sometimes you need a fire started, to light that butt under you, like in the beginning of spring, wagging your tail to get started. All right, so there's really big transformation coming up here. And this huge transformation that's coming up here now wasn't really that huge in the deck this morning. There's definitely lightning striking. It's more of a peaceful thing in the read. It's saying that you've done all the work of the huge transformation. Now it just takes something quick to actually make it happen. I'm going to do the past life deck. Take a deep breath. Okay, so for Mother Mary, please. For February 11, 2019, Mother Mary. For everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all who's concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? The bottom of the deck is Wisdom, which is the unicorn. I love this. So very pure. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Just feel into the energy too, not just see the picture, but feel how beautiful and pure that is. So 3 cards came out, 2 and then 1. So the 2 that came out together were the High Priestess, High Priest or Priestess, and then Mother. Okay, so you can be both. You don't have to be one or the other. You don't have to not be with your kids in order to be the High Priest or Priestess. And sometimes you might want to take time alone. Allow them to spend time with someone else, which is fine. And it's reiterating to make sure you take space for yourself, whether you're with your children or not, so that you can be that calm force for your children, so you don't get stressed out by them, by their high energy. So you can be calm when you're reading and not feel like there's 5 other things you have to do while you're reading to them. Make sure you take your meditation time, very important as a mother. And also to have forgiveness for your own mother and the impatience that she may have showed you, or shown you, not being able to deal with her own feelings, her own emotions. And then the other card that came up is male-female, to sit back to back, align your energies. Okay. And like I said, when I was in the south of France, we did, one of the exercises we did was doing, like, you know, a very, just when you dance, you just do whatever you emotionally feel to do. But one of the exercises was dancing back to back. And boy, did our energies shoot up together. I mean, that trip was so amazing for me because I was with 7 people that I knew every one of them before. It was like an intensely spiritual retreat. And for any of you who are interested in that, Mercedes Kirkle, I believe she is doing it this year. I don't think they did it last year. And she did it, it was June or July, around there usually. Mercedes Kirkle channels Mary Magdalene, so if you're interested in that trip in the south of France, it was really beautiful. You'll love it. And not to mention the energy there. It's just, I can't describe it. I was just like a little kid. I just was running around with the butterflies. That's how I felt. So here, it's just having to do with relationships in general, the 3 cards. You know, you need time by yourself, you need time with your partner, and you need time alone with the children. And when you're with your partner, make sure to line up your spirits connecting with me, to align your spine and your energies first before you talk. And when you need to take time apart, do, just like you did when you were kids. You know, when you're mad at each other, go to your room. And then come back when you're okay. You know, just work on your own issues. Take time to meditate or rest or whatever, reflection. Okay, and Journey of Love. Yeah. So, February 11, 2019, Mother Mary. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. There's too many cards in the doing this. Oh, look at them. Okay. The bottom of the deck is Intimacy, number 35, which is also Mary Magdalene, the Wounded Warrior. Intimacy is the underlying energy. So it's all about intimacy, the physicalness of love, of real love. It has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with intimacy. I'm not going to read all of those. And one came out separately, but that's been read a couple times recently. Let's see here. I'll show you all the cards that came out. First was the pearl threaded, number 38, which is the Queen of Cups. Okay, that's a very different color. That's pretty. God Speaks, which is 33. That's definitely come out recently. The Breaking, which is 65. That's also come out recently. The Self-Initiation, which has also come up this week, 12. And Earth Angel, which I do believe came up pretty recently. And Eruption of Light came out separately from that. I know that one's been read a couple times. That's definitely like the, you know, being inside the vortex. The, I'm just blanking out on the word. My brain has trouble retrieving. The toroidal field. Okay, the toroidal field. And that came up actually for me this week. I was actually working with that shape. So I'm going to read you the Pearl Threaded. We have the Queen of Cups, 33 is the Christ vibration, but it's also that 7 of Swords of standing up for yourself, the inner God within yourself. Stand up for yourself, you're God, right? The Breaking, which is the King of Pentacles. Okay, when you manifest, sometimes you have to break things apart, and the King of Pentacles understands this concept. Number 12 is Wisdom, self-initiation, the Hangman, and then 54 is the Page of Swords, the Earth Angel. Appreciate your children, and a little communication, a little bit of truth. And then Eruption of Light, which is 11, and Justice, which definitely is today's energy. Okay, the Pearl Threaded, 38. I'm going to show you that card again because I'm really liking the colors today. The colors on the screen aren't exact. I don't know how much you can tell, but I always can tell because my eyes aren't this dark. They're really light green in the inside. So the YouTube, adjuster tends to mess up with the colors a little bit. But it's definitely the blues and greens together, really pretty. With like a really dark, not quite black, there's a little bit of brown tint to it, with taupey colors, really nice combination. But it's 38, the pearl threaded, which is the Queen of Cups, which is very representative of the Divine Feminine. And it says, though we labor through the illusion of individuality and have to face our inner challenges in solitude, our spiritual transformation is not an independent event, nor is it for our victory alone as we approach the enlightened way of all-embracing love. Each human being is a pearl on the Divine Mother's garland, gradually assuming luster and revealing beauty, worth, and radiance over many lifetimes. Together we're creating precious offering in return for her gift of life. We can learn to draw on the collective effort, and Spirit's been connecting with me, to allow our own journey to become integrated into the journey of the group without being weighed down, and instead to be lifted up. To do this, we honor the thread that connects each of us as one divine being, just like the various fingers that belong to one hand. Then we honor the pearl essence of our divine nature, that we are capable of growth and transformation, Spirit's really connecting, and becoming a divine beauty. This oracle brings you a message. You are to shift your perspective to allow all groups that you're involved in to become a source of energetic lifting rather than depletion. If a group you're involved cannot do this for you, then you may not be in vibrational resonance, and it may be time for you to seek a group that is more energetically supportive of your vibration. Trust your feelings and don't be scared to open up and allow yourself to connect with others. That way you can truly know if a group or a gathering is for you, or if you need to move on. But do trust that you are not alone on your journey, and the soul connections that will nourish you will draw you to them, like strands of pearls on the Divine Mother's necklace. Hearts apart, remember love, and time stands still. And that was perfect, because it's just the hearts apart, remembering love is just about what I was talking about, your kids, and about the heart pumping out to the edge of your limbs, right? You have to go out to explore, but you always end up coming home to love, the heart, just like your children. Sometimes you need time apart, right, to really appreciate. If you love something, set it free. Sometimes you need to see the reality of the situation and the perspective from being away from someone you've taken for granted, how much they give to you and how much you have not seen that. And the only way you can see that is by going away and seeing how little there is offered from the others in the world, to really appreciate what you've been given. Okay, I'm going to show you the pictures before I forget. Okay, so that's the basic read for the union. And then the full read is here. Okay, so be loving to each other. Don't worry if you don't resonate with everyone. You're not going to resonate with everyone. That's why we're all individuals. And if you don't resonate, break from that group or that person, and then whoever resonates with you will naturally gravitate to you. It's not like you have to go out and find. So if you're not resonating with anyone right now and you spend a lot of time alone, well, maybe that was much time needed alone. Maybe there was a reason for that, and that you're just working on yourself. Okay? So, be good to yourselves, and rise and be loved.